Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Katrina and this is my chaotic knitting podcast. It's been quite a while since I have filmed one of these and I apologize. I'm really looking to get more consistent with this. I think I was just getting really busy with work and other things, but I'm feeling ready again to start putting more effort into this channel and putting more towards this. So today I am going to be showing you two finished objects, which is exciting, and then I have 3 active whips and one small acquisition and a couple ideas of projects that I'm looking forward to working on. So yeah, let's get right into it. I think I'll start with the oldest whip, and by oldest I mean this took me the longest. Oh, actually, first, before I get into that, I should talk about what I'm wearing today. Because I don't usually wear knitwear in these, but it's very cold right now. And especially in here, I don't like turning on the heating super high because I'm trying to save energy. But yeah, it's cold, so I'm wearing a very warm sweater. So this is the Novice Sweater pattern by Petite Knit. And I use Cascade 220 and Knitting for Olive Mohair for this, so that's why it's got like a pretty nice halo. And yeah, it's very soft, very warm, like a little bit scratchy around my neck, but I wear an undertop with it and that makes it pretty comfortable, and it's very nice and warm. I actually knitted this a while ago. This was the second finished object I'd ever made because I'd knit before for a while, but never actually made things. And then I knit the Novice Sweater with acrylic yarn in black, finished that, liked it so much, and then just wanted to do it again, which is funny. So then I knit the exact same pattern again, but with this nicer yarn, and that's kind of what started my knitting. So yeah, this is pretty cool piece. But anyways, let's get into what I've made recently. So obviously I have a lot of ends to weave in, and it's a little bit wrinkled because I kind of just had it laying not great. But I just finished blocking this too, and this is Camisole number 7 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I wish it wasn't so wrinkled, sorry guys. But you can see the really beautiful details here. It's not actually real shaping, so it doesn't really affect the bust shaping or anything. It's just for looks, and this is so beautiful. I knit the size large because I wanted it really big and flowy, and I really like how large and flowy it is on. The only thing is, I think I made the sleeves a tiny bit shorter than what the pattern recommended, and I could have gone even shorter, I think, just because it's just a little bit low. Shows a little bit of sleeve, which is okay, but I was hoping to wear it for work too, so maybe I'll try to adjust that, or I'll just leave it alone and wear it when I'm not at work. But this was a really fun knit. However, it was a slog. This took me so long. I started in June, and I was pretty consistently working on this. This was like my train whip as well, and there is just so many rows of this broken rib stitch, but it's got such a beautiful effect and such a beautiful look that definitely worth it. So yeah, this was a really fun pattern to make. You start with all individual 4 pieces, and then you combine them together and then work it all together in the round. So it's kind of cool. I learned by working on this that I fell in love with this broken rib. I think this is such a cool texture, so I'm really hoping to incorporate that into some of my designs too eventually. And another thing that I did that was weird for this is it recommends a silk yarn for this pattern, I believe, and I did 100% wool, which might seem kind of stupid, but I actually wore this the other day and I was still pretty chilly in it. It wasn't hot at all. I mean, I know it's winter, but I didn't feel it had any really overly hot effect. I think that's the nice thing about wool, is it's quite good at temperature regulation. So depending on if you need to be warm or colder, wool's pretty good at adjusting. So we'll give it the true test in the summertime, but for now I really like wearing this. And so speaking of the yarn, this is Saanich Yarns in Lemona Soft. So yeah, it's 100% wool yarn, and the colorway is called aqua. So I was looking for a really pretty sage green that's almost like a neutral, almost kind of not quite green, and I think this is exactly what I wanted. And you can see too some of the variation because it's a hand dyed, yeah. It's a hand dyed yarn, so you can see how there's like a little bit sections that are a little bit more blue and a little bit more green and then a little bit paler, and it adds a nice texture with the broken rib texture as well. So I'm super happy with this one. It's so soft, so comfy. Just gotta weave in the ends, and then I can't wait to start wearing that. Okay, so the next finished object that I have is this hipster hat. So that's a pattern by Petite Knit, and this is a really basic hat pattern, but you can see it's got a really nice decrease situation, so that's pretty cool. And it's got a nice stretchy tubular cast on, so yeah, it's pretty stretchy. It looks really long when I hold it like this. Once again, I've blocked this, but there's a crease in it now because I've had it sitting the way it's probably going to be worn. But it looks very long because the pattern says to knit it quite long for the largest size. So I made the largest size for him because Christian has quite a large head, so I think this size will work great for him. And it's very stretchy because it's double ribs, so honestly you can't really go wrong. This is knit up in a really pretty blue color and a white color held together, and it did the speckling. So the blue color is Lichen and Lace, the color Beach Glass, and it's 80/20 sock, and then the other yarn is a Cascade Heritage yarn, so it's also a sock yarn, and holding two fingering together makes a DK weight. So that's how this one works. A hipster hat's a DK weight pattern. And I chose this color for Christian. One, I had it in my stash, and I was just looking through my stash to see what would work for him and what I liked for him. And I was inspired to pick something like this kind of color blue because we are in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign right now, and his character is kind of like a pirate, and he came from like the sea, and that like when his character showed up, he like had washed up on shore, and then that's how we found him. So I thought it would be funny or like interesting and tie back to his character to have this hat be, I guess, representative of his character. And I know he'd like that because he's really obsessed with this D&D campaign right now. So that's why I chose that. And I think it totally feels like the ocean because with the white yarn held with it, it kind of has the feeling of like waves splashing when they get the more white in them when there's waves, and then the blue is the beautiful ocean colors. So yeah, I think he'll like this. This is for him for Christmas. I'm kind of doing great with my Christmas gifts. I have pretty much all of my Christmas gifts done and figured out this year. I just have I paint ornaments for people, so I have a couple more ornaments to paint. I do people's pets on ornaments for Christmas, and it makes a great Christmas gift, so I do that a lot of the times. I have a couple of more of those to do, but knitting wise, all of that's done for Christmas, and it's just the beginning of December, so I'm very relaxed. I'm not worried about Christmas this year. Usually I'm stressing at like the last minute trying to get things done. So anyway, let's get into whips. So this one I'll just go through quickly because it's nothing super crazy. But if you've seen, I released a pattern called the Birch Vest, and it's kind of like a summery top. So it's convenient that I'm making this during winter time. But anyways, I wanted to make another sample of it in a different size and also in a different color just to show what it looks like. And so I'm making this one for my sister. So I just have one panel of it done so far, and it's worked in 2 panels and then attached in the back to the 3rd panel, and then it's seamed up on the side. So it's a pretty easy pattern, pretty good beginner. But yeah, I'm on the 2nd panel, and I just have to finish these decreases. It looks a little see-through when I hold it like this, but when it's against the skin, it's not really see-through. And to be honest, that's my fault because I went against my own pattern. This is silly because I used a little bit thinner yarn, but I think it'll be fine. This is Rowan yarn and it's 100% cotton, so I think this will work really nice for my sister for the summertime. She's gonna love it. So, because she asked for it, so obviously she's gonna like it. It's the nice thing about my sister. She's always like, okay, can you make me this? Can you make me that? Can you make me this type of thing? And then it's actually good inspiration for when I'm trying to design patterns, because then I can consult with her and go based off of the reference images she's giving me and then the other changes she wants to it to kind of come up with our own thing. And then I can make it for her, but also make a pattern out of it. So that's pretty fun that she likes to collaborate with me like that. Anyway, yeah, I gotta finish that one for her for Christmas too. I actually forgot. I have the Christmas gifts figured out. That doesn't mean that they're done yet. I keep forgetting that. Okay, so my nose is itchy. Okay, dealt with it. This next, I'm gonna have to edit this video a lot because I am just having a hard time, aren't I? And I need a sip of water. Make sure you drink water. It's good for you. Okay, this is kind of a funny whip because I started this around this time last year, and I worked on it for quite a bit, and then I got excited about other projects, so I stopped working on it and left it alone till pretty much right now. So this has been hibernating for like an entire year. But this is the balloon cardigan by Petite Knit, and I wonder if you can see it well. So I've finally just split for sleeves. This is a really fun, easy pattern. What's it called? The button band is worked. You start in the center for the button band, and that's kind of how you start it, and then you pick up stitches and you work all the way around, and then the button band is already attached while you're working on this. So this is a really cool, easy, simple design, something that I've been very much enjoying working on, because I have a feeling that I would delay picking up stitches for a button band at the end, but I'm working it all together, so I don't have to worry about that. And then a nice thing too is this button band is actually worked in a rib. So if I pull it out, you can see that it's a rib. But for whatever reason, I guess my tension makes it kind of look like double knitting, because all of the pearls are kind of getting squished in and you just see the knits, but it looks like double thick, which is kind of exactly what I wanted. So I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. Other than that, super easy raglan pattern. Can't really go wrong. I've never knit a cardigan before. This will be my first cardigan. So it's a lot of back and forth, knitting and purling, but it's good. It's good for practicing tension and that sort of thing. And speaking of practicing tension, you can see like a very distinct line, and I hope it blocks out, but you can see a pretty distinct line of when I was working on this last year and then to working on it now. And I think with that being said as well, it's very funny to me how much my knitting and tension has improved since just last year. Like, all of this, like, there's definitely some rowing out happening and definitely some unevenness, and I'm hoping that'll block out, but if it doesn't totally, I'm not super fussed about it, and it's a plain white color. I don't think it's going to be super visible. But yeah, my knitting is a lot more even once we get down to here, which is, it's cool to see the progress on one piece. Like, obviously you can see when you have one garment that you made a long time ago, like this one, and then another garment later on, you can compare them next to each other and see like, wow, what a big difference. But just with all within the same garment, to see the difference is very fascinating. But yeah, I definitely recommend this pattern. Super easy. It's actually a really quick knit. It shouldn't have taken me this long to work on it because it's actually very easy. Like, I've picked this back up like a couple days ago, maybe like December 1st, and it's December 3rd while I'm filming this, and that's how much I've gotten done, and I've like barely been knitting. I haven't had a lot of time to knit, so it is actually fairly quick. Oh, and I didn't talk about the yarn. It's Drops Lima. This is just the color 1101, which it's just white. It's just plain white. and it's 65% wool and 35% alpaca, which is nice because I love the wool, but then also a little bit of alpaca will make it nice and warm. And I forgot to mention too, for this one I'm actually making the size small because I want something, I actually don't want that much positive ease. I want it to be like a really fitted, kind of more looking like I'm wearing it like a top and less like a cardigan. So that's kind of the look I'm going for, and I think that's going to work really well making the size small based on my calculations. So this next knit piece whip that I'm working on is the Tessellated Pullover, which is the one with sleeves. And this is an Andrea Mowry pattern, and this was the Rhinebeck sweater. I had no plans on going to Rhinebeck, I had no intentions. That wasn't what I was doing. I literally just went to Knit City this year, and someone had made this exact sweater with these exact colors, and I said, I want that exact sweater, and I'm gonna make it. So that's kind of just what happened. And to be honest, I ended up spending way too much money on the yarn for this, but it was my birthday, so I kind of justified it like that. I'm like, whatever, it's my birthday gift to myself. So anyway, this is the front of it, and I'm so in love with how the colors are looking. This is so cool. This is why I wanted exactly the colors that I saw. I was like, this person, they picked out the coolest colors, and I loved how theirs looked, and so I wanted to do the same thing. I really especially like the blue sections, but because they're balanced out with all these other sections, it's very cool. This pattern is worked bottom up, which I've never done before. So it's always good to try new things because, you know, sometimes I get in my head, I listen to people and they say they prefer making top-down sweaters, and so then I'm like, in my head, oh, well, I must like prefer making top-down sweaters because that's what other people like, and I'll probably like it better too. But you never know until you try it. So this is bottom up. It was a lot of ribbing to start. It's kind of fun because it forces you to get all this ribbing done to start before you get to have fun and play with all the colors and the color changing yarn and that sort of thing. So I am actually really enjoying making it so far. I have no complaints about bottom up, but I won't really know till the end, because at the end I'll know if I chose a good length for myself. I made mine slightly more cropped than what the pattern recommended, and that's also what this person at Knit City did with their sample that was in this exact colorway, and it looks really good on them. So I was like, you know what, I'll just do the same thing too. It's kind of worked with a lot of slip stitches, so if you don't like doing slip stitches, you might not have fun with this. I really enjoy doing the slip stitches for whatever reason, because it's very fast. You kind of do two at a time, and I'm able to get both of them on my needle at the same time, and it's actually ends up being really fast for me, so I don't mind it at all. And this is very much an addictive knit because you get through one color in the spin cycle, and then it keeps changing, and then you just want to like work on it forever until you get to the next color, and it's so fun, so exciting. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. It's a really good, easy knit. It takes a while because it's a lot of stitches and a pretty small gauge. What size are these needles? This is US 4, so 3.5 millimeter needles. But because the color changing makes me work on it so fast, it doesn't actually feel that long. So now I should talk about the yarn. The main colorway, I'll just show you in the skein because it's probably easier to tell what's going on, is this Spinster's Daughter. So it's a collab between Farmer's Daughter Fibers and Spin Cycle Yarns. And the colorway is Fugitive. And it's an 100% American superwash wool. So this is a very beautiful color. I think all of those brands that we're going to look at are from Washington, and that's why they came to Knit City, Vancouver, because we're neighbors with Washington, if you didn't know that about Canada. But anyway, the next color, look, I got a little Varn, what language is that? I have a little yarn vomit coming out. Classic. Here, we'll just show you the prettier side. This is Spin Cycle Yarns. as you can tell by the color changing. And it's 100% American wool superwash. This colorway is called Wild Horses. And it looks so cute in the little cake, but you've got some like blues, and then with the blues mixing with the reds almost makes a burgundy kind of purpley color. So there's some burgundies too. And then it gets into this really vibrant, not quite red, like a dark orange. And then it gets into this kind of greeny yellow and then a really bright yellow. So like here's some of that yellow color too. It's got a bunch going on. It's probably not a color I would pick for myself typically, like the yellow, but the way they work all together is so beautiful, because there is this color here, which is called, this is Odang, Silk and Surrey Alpaca. So it's not a mohair, it's a Surrey. It's so fluffy and cute, and like the halo is so pretty. And this is also, yeah, this is Farmer's Daughter Fibers, Odang, Surrey. And the color is called Winter Wolf. But I think having this neutral with these kind of two opposing colors, and then you have a neutral added in as well, if you back up from far away, it looks more neutral. But then when you get up really close to it, like if it was further, it doesn't look too, well, maybe it does look really crazy and bright. But let's say you're really far away, it would probably look kind of like more of a neutral, but then when you're really close to it, you can see all the really cool color changes. So I feel like the color theory and the science behind the color with that is like fascinating to me. I don't know, it's really cool. So yeah, this has been really fun to work on, and I would love to have it done by next episode. Like I said, I want to do this once a month, so it'd be really great to have that done. And then for, I guess, upcoming, what I want to be working on / like acquisitions. This doesn't really feel like a recent acquisition, but because I haven't done a podcast in a while, it is. But I got some yarn because I have a pattern in mind that I want to make and like write the pattern for and everything. So I have this Knitting for Olive heavy merino in the color Bordeaux, I believe. Yep. And this is just a really beautiful burgundy, but it's more leaning on the side of purple. Like, you know, some burgundies can go more red. This burgundy goes a little bit more purple. That's really cute. And then to go with that, I have this Cascade yarn. I lost the label for it, so I'm really sorry. I don't know. I don't have very much information about this one. Shoot. That's too bad. But maybe I can find it and link it somewhere. But this is a Cascade 220 in this really pretty like baby purple color. So these are meant, and this is 100% wool too. So these are meant to go together like that. And I don't really have much done for the pattern yet. All I have is a gauge swatch, but I can show you the gauge swatch. And this is what it looks like. But I'm so excited about how these colors look together. I think it looks nice on my skin tone, but I think this will be really pretty. And these bits, like this color is just going to be the accent, and it's going to be only in certain areas, and it's going to be mostly this Bordeaux color. So this is going to be like the accent areas, and I'm very excited about it. That's going to be really fun and cool. And then another thing maybe you guys can help me with is I got this. Whoop, let go. It's getting attached to other yarn. Get back in there. I got this really beautiful, this is called Nimbus Surrey from Sunday Fiber Co. I got this at Knit City, Vancouver as well. It's so soft. It feels like a baby kitten. Like, that's the only way I can describe it, is it feels like a little kitten. Which is weird of me to say since I have a hairless cat. So she doesn't feel like this. It feels like a hair cat. So you call them. I get so tripped up. I get used to my cat being hairless that I forget that she's weird and everyone else has like hair cats. And then I'm like, your cat's weird. Like I'm so used to looking at my cat. I think she's normal, but anyways, I forgot she was a weirdo, and then I took her to the vet the other day for just a normal checkup, and they're like, oh my god, your cat, look, she's like hairless. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm so used to her now, but she is kind of funky, isn't she? Sorry, enough about cats. Yeah, I have 3 skeins of this, and then how much is this? So 300 meters each. So I have 3 skeins of that, which means I have 900 total. And my plan was to make the Moby slip over with this. I can't get over how soft it is. By the way, I didn't say it. This color is ranunculus. It's such a pretty color, and I want to hold it with maybe like a brownish grayish kind of to deepen it up, and then these colors will kind of pop on top. But anyways, I want to make a slip over because I think I have the quantity to make a slip over, and I was thinking of making the Moby slip over, but I'm not super dead set on that. So if you have any suggestions of like another slip over that you really like, that you think would look really pretty with this, and I'm not super dead set either on like a lot of texture, like the Moby has a lot of texture, but maybe this yarn will like speak for itself because it's so pretty with something that's more simple stockinette. But maybe it's more fun to work on something crazy and cabled, so I don't know. I'm not super certain, but if you have any cool, fun suggestions, I'd love to hear them for that one. And then what else? I guess another knitting plan that I have is Luna kind of just has one good sweater right now because another time I took her to the vet, she was wearing a little sweater that she came with, and you know, when they take them in the back and do stuff and they're in a rush, it was an emergency, they must have just like misplaced her sweater or kept it by accident or whatever. So I didn't get that one back. So she kind of just has one good sweater now. And I would like to make her another one. And with that, I would also like to write a new pattern for that. So I'm kind of getting some ideas. I'm thinking my plan is to do some color work. I don't want to get too into the details until I actually make it. But yeah, that would be fun. Or I can just follow the pattern that I already have written. I have a cat sweater pattern released. If you have a cat, you can check it out. It's a fun one. People have been liking it, which has been very encouraging to me to keep writing patterns and making patterns because I've gotten some really good feedback on that. But yeah, I might do a fun color work yoke for her. I feel like it would be so cute. And then it would be crazy if I did like a cute color work yoke for her and then made one for myself as well, and then we were matching. But then all our sweaters are matching. That's so embarrassing. But, well, the sweater she has now is matching with her daddy. So it's matching with a sweater I made for Christian with this green yarn here. Oh, this one. So, yeah. That's pretty much everything. That's all I've got going. I look forward to seeing you guys again next month with hopefully some more done stuff. And that's all I got for you guys today. But yeah, if you guys could give me some suggestions of what to do with this in the comments, that would be super helpful. But with that being said, thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.